Power 92. We are #1 in the streets.
That's right, nothing but straight heat on your radios right here on Power 92, the station that's been busting since 2001. And right now on the line, I got two very special people, man. I got Big U and the beautiful Deb Antney. How are you guys?
Great.
All right.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We talking about this documentary that's coming on FX called Hip Hop Uncovered. All right. This is, for me, watching it, just put a lot of things in perspective in the context of everything. It was just so beautifully done. So I appreciate you contributing all of the things that y'all contributed to this documentary. I feel like I know y'all well, like y'all my brothers and my sisters right now, you know what I'm saying? So y'all did a lot in that. But Big U, let me start with you, man. What motivated you to want to put together a documentary like this to tell these stories, man? Because it's a lot of information in this.
Well, my story, man, just what I've been through, as a person trying to, help artists get there, and it's just an untold story. Just what I've been through, my journey, and then not wanting to end my journey or go somewhere. And I'm tired of people telling my story.
Mm-hmm.
And they make me out to what they want me out to be. So when the opportunity came, I jumped on it, and then I went and got out people I felt who had stories and who been through the same thing I've been through, like mine.
Absolutely. Deb, yeah, you too. You shared a lot in this, especially when you talked about when Red died and how it made you feel, even to the point where the shooting that happened, where you got shot and the dude made you the shield. You shared that. Tell me about your experiences with this documentary as well, and what you expect people to get from it.
This documentary for me has truly, truly been a blessing. It has been the therapy that I've needed for a very, very long time. No one's couch could have ever replaced this. Not just that, working with all the people that I was working with, like I thank Big U so much for even allowing me to grace the presence with them, with all of these guys on their period, and allow my truth to be told. Not someone else telling my story, but me telling my story, okay? This has truly, truly been a blessing. It is hard for me to describe because this is so real. It is not something that people is adding in. They're telling the story of what's not going on, and I could sit back and look at something and get pissed off and like, I can't believe they just did that, or they just told this, or they just said that, or whatever. The biggest thing has been great therapy for me. It's been a blessing, and it's amazing being able to work with all of the guys that I work with, and to be able to come on that platform and to be able to stand there with them. I'm truly blessed. Like, this was really good.
Absolutely. And it was, man. And it just shed a lot of light on a lot of different situations. You just heard stories about fables, but these truths have came out in this documentary, and everybody's gonna get this. I was glued to it. Big U, I want to talk about the mindset you had in one of the episodes where you took Corrupt out the car when he was about to go do a mission. Explain what that mindset was for the people.
Oh, I was just really kind of coming out of trying to get out of that real hard gang banging stage, and I was just trying. I had just read Malcolm X's autobiography, so it had a profound effect on me. And I just came to Chicago and came back to town in my home with Lamont Broomfield, and me and Laquan was talking about doing music. So when I seen him, my mindset was like, nah, you got a different purpose. And I wanted him to live out that purpose, which he eventually did. And I pulled him out the car, I called him out. I said, man, the boy over here trying to go with the homies. Mm-hmm. But I was in a different space and trying to help people and not harm people. It was, like I said, such a pull, it was hard to get out of that. But that's where my mind was at that time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then you talked about the fact that you read that book. Harry O had gave you the contracts and all of those different books.
Yeah.
Read What was besides the Malcolm X books? What was the other books you could share with us that we could probably pick up and learn some stuff?
I read Kashif book, everything you need to know about the music industry. I read man, Harry had gave me books on how the meat industry, how we went to the refrigerating industry. I read books on how film, how we went from black and white film, or film with no sound, into adding sound into film. And you know, Charlie Chaplin and his people own damn near all of Hollywood. I had read everything anything I can get my hand on that was entertainment wise, I read it. You know.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Deb, your story when you talked about, you said you chose to do what your father taught you. Well, I was listening to you, and I just you went out there. You had to do your thing. Tell me why that choice was made.
I didn't have a choice, really. That was the choice I had to make. There was no other out for me.
Right.
I was young for one. I was a female, you know what I'm saying? But I know I had to save my family. I became the matriarch to my family once my dad passed away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's what.
So,
okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Even though he wasn't with my mom, it don't matter. I still was the matriarch. You know what I'm saying? My mother only knew how to be a mother and a wife. That's all she knew how to be. Mm-hmm. So I had the training and the ability to take us up out of some of the things that we were in. Even as a kid.
Yeah. And then you took that and you took it to the music industry, building 3 of the hottest acts in the game: Nicki Minaj, Drake, and French Montana.
I didn't do Drake. I ain't do Drake.
You didn't do Drake? No. It was I always mix Nicki Minaj and Drake together because they was at that time they was doing
both on Young Money.
Yeah, they both on Young Money. But so French Montana, all right, Nicki Minaj.
It was first Gucci.
And then Gucci. That's what it didn't pop up.
It was first Gucci.
First it was Gucci. Now, I mean, tell me about what do you see in people where you get behind them like that? I mean,
they were underdogs.
Yeah.
They were underdogs. They were all artists that were blackballed.
And so, and again, like, I don't know. I guess I feel the same way about, you know, some of the people that I deal with when I break artists. Like Drake, not I Lil Durk. I don't want to think about Drake right now. I guess he got some in the air. But listen, Lil Durk, he always shout me out in his music, and I appreciate it, but he was one of them underdogs, just like you saw in Gucci. I was like telling him, man, your music is dope. I love it. And you could do this by yourself. You could run your own label with your own music and your own people, brother. You know what I'm saying? And I was telling him real early in the game, and that's what he's doing with OTF, you know? So I definitely see that in you. Also, I want to this is the emotional part. I got to go right back to it.
It's okay.
When you said that the man in the car had, you know, he used you as a shield, you know, because you thinking that he was getting shot, but you was getting
at that time, like, let's be clear, at that time, I didn't really know that he was using me as a shield.
Okay.
And I thought he was taking the hits for me, like he was taking hits also. And later when I learned that I was the shield, that he only got glazed in the butt. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And what was happening then, you know, that was really crazy for me. So,
but did it put you in a situation where you had a different type of light on men around you? What did it do for you emotionally? Your connection to
you know, the one thing about me, I'm not going to judge you what I went through with you for what I go through with you. I'm not going to hold him responsible for something that you did. I don't do that. So I'm not going to say, oh, damn all men, because this is what he did to me. Mm-hmm.
That's what's up.
Other people have nothing to do with that. That's on him. He had to hold that on his own.
Wow. That's what I'm talking about right there. That was a gem right there. And the fact that you said you didn't keep the responsibility on him. I mean, well, you kept it on him. And
I kept it on him.
You kept it on him, and you didn't spread it out to everybody. Come on, man.
I work good with men, so I'm never going to sit there and say any of these things because I work very good with my male counterparts. Like, I'm excellent with them, you know? So you can't hold somebody responsible for something that they have no knowledge of. Is that fair for me to hold you against something? Can't see it. Is it fair for me to hold you against something that Big U did?
Right.
Or Joe Blow did? Or the next one did? That's what's wrong with everybody now. They want to lie blame on everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I can't lie that blame on him. And I also got to take some ownership because I felt like something wasn't right. But here's my gift of the mother side of me still like, yo, what's going on? Like, I'm still rolling and I'm still like going to be there. Like, I don't want to say a whole lot of stuff, but I still want to be there. So I had a lot of signs to tell me to get my ass up out that car. Like, leave, don't get in that car. I had signs. I literally could have gotten out of there really.
Wow.
So, you know, some stuff I got to take my own ownership too, but for him, it is what it is. It's just as simple as that. I'm not going to hold other people responsible for something he did, you know? And actually, even to the people that hit me for a long time, I never said nothing about that because I heard when he said, what about the bitch? He said, leave the bitch alone. She ain't got nothing to do with this. He didn't know he hit me.
Wow.
So that was a double whammy. So everything else is like just written in the books now.
That's what it is. That's what it is. I appreciate you sharing that right there. I know that was a very emotional time for you at that time, but I appreciate you sharing that and sharing that with other women as well, you know, so they could understand how not to put, you know, responsible for yourself and then not trying to spread the blame to everybody else as well.
Yeah, you have to take ownership for your own stuff. And I am one that take ownership. I do something wrong. I did it. Okay. And I got to handle that. I have to deal with that kind of stuff. And those things are like really, really important today. Like you taking ownership for your own stuff. That's what's so good about our story. Like every one of us, like we might have been in this one world together doing things, similarities and things. We all have a lot of similarities with us. There's a lot. But we all have different stories, but yet we're one person. If you really look at it. You know
that's
what I'm saying?
True right there.
Yeah. Like that's so, and it's crazy for me being a woman and to be able to identify with so many things with them. It's crazy because I live that life like them, but I'm 100% woman. You know what I'm saying? But yet I was given tests not by choice, but they were learned behaviors. And you know, the people that love you taught you these things. Who is anybody else to tell you anything different? And when I think about that, I'm me personally, I'm hoping it's opened up a whole lot of things because you have to look at all of the people that we have that are incarcerated. You know how many males and females are in there incarcerated because of the learned behaviors that they had? You know? Yeah, when you know better, you'll do better. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like, when you don't know anything, who are you to tell me that I'm doing something wrong? If the people that love me taught me these things, it gotta be right. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's crazy. It's even for me that I was thinking about, I remember when I was talking, going to somebody's house to have dinner, I was still weaving and bopping because I was waiting to see who was getting ready to get hit first. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't normal. Like this is a normal, this household is weird. Like ain't nobody fighting. They really sitting at a table like a family eating. It was like stuff that I was not used to. Like I'm looking in the corners. I don't have nobody to bet on to see who gnawed and hit the floor first. So these are all the things that I came up in and all the things that I witnessed and I seen. So I could talk about these things because it's really about that. Like this is the life that I really led.
Absolutely.
It's important that people know where I come from, that I didn't end up in somebody's bed and landed all of these things. I worked hard to get to where I was. I worked hard to do the things that I've done. I don't think that I know factually because it couldn't happen and they didn't go anywhere else. Those artists that I touched, stuff would not have happened if I didn't do the things that I did. And it wasn't that I was great in the music, that I knew so much in the music. I knew the concrete. I knew that, and I knew the people that was dealing in that. You know what I'm saying? And who they used to come up against us to come through. So that's what I knew how to do. And I knew how to swiftly move them around through all of that stuff. Besides, not only that, I was also able to teach how to get money because I've been getting money since I was 9 years old. That's easy. So I always learned that I am the money.
Woo. Let's go. Let's go, Auntie Deb. Come on.
That's why we had to have her.
Yes. I'll be, and people are going to receive this same energy when they watch the documentary, all 6 of them, man. It's definitely something that is going to teach everybody something inside this. I want to talk to you, about your situation that happened at the supper club and what you did, bro. I thought it was beautiful, and it was a very big example of how to be a real leader. You know what I'm saying? So, but explain to the people what happened with that situation right there.
So I went to the supper club. We was going to a regular club, and one of my little homeboys, my son's best friend, was high off of some kind of like medicine or whatever have you. And make a long story short, man, he fired on the security, and the security didn't do shit. So I got between him and the security, and I'm asking him like, man, why the fuck did you just do that? And then they rushed me from behind. So when they rushed me from behind, we get up, they get us up. So, you know, the rule is if you got a problem with them, if you got to get down, we get mad at you. You can't come get down with some niggas that did come to the hood and tell the homies, no. I knew it was odds was uneven. It was all the security out there. It was me by myself. So I did what I was supposed to. I took flight. You know what I'm saying? We got it in. While I was on the ground, one of the cats kicked me in the eye. So the blood filled up in my eye. So I wasn't out of none of the country. You know, it wasn't nothing really bad. It really didn't even hit me that much. So when I get up, they taking me to jail, of course, but all the blood in my eye, so it looked a lot worse than it was. But make a long story short, the homie shut Hollywood down for a couple of days. You know, it was for a couple of weeks, maybe, rather, you know. And we came to an equal medium, and I didn't want to do nothing to harm nobody else, because I know them brothers just doing their job. And my homeboy had did the wrong thing. So they had reached out to me, you know what I mean? And we had did some things. And so I told them, look, man, take care of me and then put up some money so I can do something for my community. So I had them do a food giveaway, Christmas toy giveaway. We spent about $100,000 on my community, man, just giving out. We had 2 big ass trucks pull up. We did a 3-day event for the Crenshaw community. And like I say, Supper Club came out, and that's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to line my pockets, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I want the world to know that, you know, I'm here to give back. Like, that's my whole mission, to really reach out. And it was so beautiful because these kids, they didn't have to know what happened. All they need to know is that they getting these toys and this food, and it was beautiful.
Yes, it was. It was beautiful to watch that and just to see that happen as well. You know, like I said, I mean, it was a setting an example of how you handle business between people. Whatever you're having a problem with, you figure it out. But then it was like a bigger situation where you help the community. In the
you know, I lost a deal. I lost a deal for $1.5 million because of that.
Oh.
I was managing Ving Rhames at the time, right? Uh-huh. And he had me a role on Mission Impossible 5. We was finna fly to Australia. They was getting me cleared to go in Australia, brother. And that shit happened. And it went all on the news. Yeah. And then Tom Cruise and people seeing it, they was like,
we can't have
that
it.
shit cut my bag, man. But I still said, you know, fuck it, and did it for the kids, did it for the community, man. That really set me back.
Yeah.
Because that went out throughout the whole internet, and that's all the internet, you know, that's all they need to see is, you know, that really kind of set me back in this business a lot.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, right there. I mean, you explain that happening. I mean, to these shorties, they should understand that you just can't come to social media and do crazy stuff and think that is not going to affect you in the future. You know what I'm saying? That stuff is there forever. And just like they judge that situation on whether or not they want to work with you, you say $1.5 million.
I was guaranteed 1.5 million, man. I was going over there for a month. I really was just going to hang with Veen. And they was gonna give me a role because I was managing Veen at the time. But like I said, and it's the same thing with Deb, man, because like how she said, and I want to just line on how she said we exactly the same, because the struggles I go through, I hear she go through. How people want to write her name, and then it's always got to be she this, she this, she this, she that, she this, she that. You know, but ain't never sat in a room with her. So her name gets in the room before she ever gets in the room. And then the question is, well, if she's so straight, how come this person left? How come that person left? I get the same exact shit. It ain't how they left. It's like we ain't try to keep them. Like I ain't keeping nobody. If you ain't dealing business with me, man, and I mean, if you hearing something better, but then they eventually all come back.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
They know what's up. They know what's up, man. I also want to talk about this quote you said. You said a lot of disloyalty is in the industry, and you know, it's crazy. But I want to ask you, can that be changed though?
It's a lot of disloyalty, but it is some people that's loyal. Like you got people like the Ludacris camp. Ludacris still stay with his squad. Mm-hmm. You got Dub Baby. You got Lil Baby. You got dudes that stay with their squad, lead their squad. Then you got motherfuckers who fuck off their money, and then they want to complain and say that they was giving mismanagement when that really ain't true. Because when these kids get this money, we could tell these kids, go get you a business manager, go get you an accountant to help you spend the money. Because the second money not coming for a long time. But when they don't go do that, they go to screaming about, I was in a bad deal, I'm in a bad situation, and that's just anything. But that's not just in music though. Because I deal with athletes, football players, actors, and after the money is gone, they want out. And it's not just hip hop, it's everything I deal with. Because I mean, like I said, I deal with athletes now, I deal with music, I deal with all of that. I deal with more athletes. I've been dealing with more athletes and more music and film over the last 10 years than I have with hip hop. But it's the same. It don't even matter. It just doesn't matter. Once they spend that money and then they got to start doing that work, they don't understand work and money goes together. You got paid, you got to do this work. And you're still doing this work 6 months down the line. Mm-hmm. They don't understand that. Shit, when I did Game first shoe deal ever. I'm the first one to ever get Game $1 million. Right at the height of his career, we did a deal with Game. $2.5 million, a Bentley. He had to approve the shoes. We gave him too much of the money. Once he got the money, we got ordered down the track, started the tour. He didn't want to see nothing else. He felt like he had got the most of the money he was gonna get. He didn't want to feel and do all of the steps to keep getting the money. He was like, fuck it. He started back wearing Chuck Taylors on stage. Oh. They called me like, man, why is he wearing Chuck Taylors and not his shoes? And then it was, I didn't get to approve the last shoe, but Deb could tell you a bunch of horror stories. But that's the truth of it, man, right there.
Yeah, Deb, I want to get your perspective as well. You know, let me know.
Yeah, he's definitely, it really hurts like when you go all out, because I messed up a lot of relationships because I was for my artists. And the bad part about it, nothing hurts more when the people that was crossing you and doing all the dirt to you, that you protected them against, is who they turn around and go to.
Go deal with. Ain't that something?
You know how many people came in my face to tell me stuff about that? Like, that's what was freaking crazy. It was really, really crazy. And to set the record, ain't nobody fire me. So that's the thing that people run their mouth, is the entourages and the people that are around them. I don't want to start throwing people up under the bus, but start the rumors and start doing that. I ain't never took shit from nobody because you ain't had shit for me to take. You got to remember the position you was in when you came to me, okay? So you didn't come to me with glamours and gold. You didn't come to me living in something fabulous or even living in something, period, of how these things go. But you have to remember all the things that I really did for you. What you didn't do for me, you didn't do for me. So when I said I was going to help you, technically with me, I really never asked for nothing. So was there anything that I was supposed to get? If they felt I wasn't supposed to get nothing, that's how it was. That ain't how it's supposed to be, but it was how it was. Do you understand?
Got it.
With Goose, that was my partner. I really wasn't no manager until he was my partner. It's like we had that stuff equally. It's all the things that we did. It was equal. People don't know that. It's like right now they're collecting off of shit that was both of ours. It wasn't just him, but I'm not going to sit in no courtroom and I'm not doing all that kind of stuff. That money don't mean that much to me. I got receipts for everything from day one, from the first day. I got boxes of stuff right now. But is that worth me going to sit in a courtroom, yelling, cussing, going through? I'm not going through all that stuff. If you feel you gotta have it, have it. Let's see where this stuff is really gonna take you. Let's see. But I know who I am. When I say I mess with you, I mess with you. You know what I'm saying? When I said I was gonna do what I was gonna do, I did it. I did everything I said and more.
I got the same thing with Nip. I got a 25% sign. I wasn't his manager. I was Nip's, but he signed to my production company, Unique Music. He signed to my production company. He was 17 years old. He was 18, 19 years old when I met him. He signed to my production company. I got 25% of everything Arias Miss Astrodome. I brought Steve on at 10% management, and I kept the other 10% because I needed Steve to go through these doors because he was a white Jewish kid.
Right.
And then Steve brought the deal, brought Johnny Snipes to the table, who has Cinematic Music Group. We then signed with Cinematic Music Group. They took us to Sony. He wanted us to sign the Cinematic Music Group Epic. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. We signed it straight to Sony. Right? Now, I got 25% publishing, but I'm like, Deb, I left that tour. I left them on the tour. I left them on the LAX tour because I had gotten into some bullshit with them people. And then I felt like the shit wasn't right. I talked about it in the documentary. Then I left. Yeah. I didn't want to deal with this hip hop shit because I felt like these niggas weren't strong enough and situation wasn't what it was. But to this day, I got 25% of his publishing. But when we got back together, when he got ready to push his album, after he signed with Atlantic, he called me. We already was talking. He's like, Unc, let's go. That's why he flew me to New York to do the video. I can't think of the video we did in New York, the first song on the Victory Lap. Mm-hmm. I flew to New York, then we came back home, we did some stuff here. I went in the studio with him and recorded for 3 days, but it's like Deb said, I don't go around unless somebody asks me about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because when he passed, it was so much shit going on the internet that niggas just was running with that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And then it was niggas like, you got a motherfucker, but you still want to, and it's like, you know, like, man, I ain't, like Deb said, man, I'm not going to explain myself to every motherfucking body. I'm not going to explain myself to nobody. You can't do that.
You just can't. It don't make sense to sit there to everybody. See, here's the thing. Once these artists get a name, everybody think whatever they say is the gospel. Half of the stuff that you listen to from these artists, they capping. They ain't done half the shit that they said they did. Okay?
Or they high as a motherfucker when they saying it.
So they glorifying the stuff that they saying when you know the shit ain't real. You ain't really do that stuff, or you disacknowledge people for all the stuff that you've done. These people ain't done these things for you. How do you do that? I know for me, I'm not cut from that kind of cloth. I can't do those kind of things. And God knows in heaven, if I was wicked, I could have done things to destroy all of them. It's things that I know. It's receipts that I have on things. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's things that I have there. You know what I'm saying? So you could create another name. You could do whatever it is that you want to do. It is still the stuff that we had together, that it's our stuff that's there. There are things that are done that was created that didn't come from these people. It's just that for me, it wasn't about me. I had something I had to do. I had to build them to where they are. I wasn't the rest of these people in every picture. I had to be known. Maybe if I was running around in the street and doing all that sucker stuff, then I would have been all right. You know what I mean? People say, turn your head and make a sign of paper and we'll give you this and we'll. I wasn't cut from that. Mm-hmm. Peter Theus told me this. And I was so pissed when the man told me, but I understand that. And I never got to tell him thank you. And I wish I understood what he said at that time. It's just that so many people was coming at me and I was fighting so many different people at this time. They had an executive position and I wanted it. I wanted to go in. You're not touching me when it comes to building an artist. I know how to build them artists. That's the one thing I know how to do. You can't take that away from me. And he said to me, Deb, first the position they wanted to give me, at that time, Todd wouldn't let me go, and I would say that. He didn't want me to go anywhere. So he was kind of slick hating on me like he still do. I had to say that too. But anyway, he said to me, I said, why am I not going in there? And he said to me, Deb, you are a building. And I looked at him. He said, you don't belong in here. This is who you are. You're not going to follow these rules or do the things that they say and how they say do it. I didn't understand that at first. I really did not understand what he was saying to me, but he was slick complimenting me. But I was so angry and I had so much stuff going on with me from all of the things that I was going through and the rumors that people were making up on me, that this shit was crazy, the stuff that was saying. Everything around me was being destroyed. The people that I had that was running with me, everybody wanted to run and thought that they could be me, that they did this. Like, this is where they're going to go. This is what they're going to do. They didn't know what was going on behind the scenes. Yeah. They didn't know all that things. I didn't tell stories. I didn't put rumors on Gucci. I never told stories on the stuff that I went through with him, what happened with us, what was going on, nothing about his mental illness, nothing about the drugs. I would not go into anything. I never, even after I wasn't around Nikki, they would call me, ask all kind of, you are never going to get these things out of me. I would never do anything like that. No matter what, they could stand next to me and say all the things that they want to say. I'm not going to throw their shit out there like that. I would just not do that. And it's just who I am.
That's the way people should be, period. All across the board. I don't care if it's music industry or sports, or everybody needs to have that same type of attitude as far as how you handle stuff, which is being straight solid. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what's wrong with the game right now, is everybody's doing the behind the back type of situation. I don't know who said it inside a documentary, but he was talking about, it might have been Bimmy, who said that he was like, people will like straight smile in your face and be stabbing you all in the back. You know what I'm saying?
But see, today they're not even coming at your back, sweetie. Today they're hitting you in your chest. That's how bold people got they think, because they know that they're going to be safe, because guess what? They're going to run and say, officer, that person right there just did da-da-da-da to me. It's free will right now, boo. It's different. My days, you couldn't play those kind of games. You couldn't do those things. And then there was bosses everywhere you went.
Yeah.
It was organized. I couldn't go to another borough and just walk in that borough and do something. I told Trick, I mean, somebody called me to do something there. I said, I got to check in. I can't just come in and don't check in.
Mm-hmm.
It's the respect, because you learn that when you run in these streets. You learn that stuff. And that's why the music is the way that it is, because you don't have people. There's nobody there organizing. I'm not mad about those cities, those no-fly zones. You can't just come through my city and do what you want to do. No, you got to show some respect. You just can't come in and rip something up because you made a record and you think you all that in a bag of chips. No, there was people that worked hard to make these things happen for you to be able to come in and do some of the things that you do. So you have to pay the respect. But the problem is, when the media get a hold to it, they're not talking about all the things that he had to do or all the things that you went up against. What did he go up against? Do you know what made him get to that point? Or if I had to step to you, why did I have to step to you? You're not telling that part of the story. So there's so many things that's omitted, and they make it juicy and good, where you just look like the bad guy. You understand what I'm saying? So even us explaining and talking about stuff, like today we did an interview and it was like, oh no, they would never do. Yes, they will do these things to you. That's why these things need to be explained, and people need to take out a pencil and pad and take notes, because we're taking them back to school. But only if you could comprehend, and you get the real. I'm talking about the real, not the BS, not the sugarcoat stuff that people want you to have, but the real. They're not going to let that happen, but they did here. And that's what I love about this whole thing. I love FX. Like, I really love them. When I tell you that you and them really did their thing and really fought to make sure that our stuff was just the way it was supposed to be, where they didn't add a sentence in there of what we said or put words on top of another word, but it came from us. That makes it the gospel.
Straight up. And that's exactly how I took it. That's exactly how I took it. And I believe and I know that anybody who puts their hands on this documentary and watches this will learn. I learned. You know what I'm saying?
We need some things changed.
Yeah.
We need some things like they really, really have to understand. And I'm hoping for me that my ladies really, I'm not saying to do everything. I'm not telling you that stuff that I did was perfect, because I had a lot of shame for a long time. Even for me to come out, it's only because of my fear of this that allowed me to do it. When I tell you the fear is not a physical fear, but it's a fear of respect, because I was sitting with men. I was among men that knew that they were men, okay? And they was out there in them trenches, and I know stuff that they've been through, and I know how they held up. You know what I'm saying? I knew how they threw bricks in and got bricks thrown back at them. You understand what I'm saying? And they could afford to live in a glass house because they wasn't throwing stones like that. It was real. So you knew that what it was, it just was. I was safe. I was comfortable with who I was with and who was doing it, because I was approached by different people. But with you coming up with this, it's like, I know that I'm a woman, and I'm not comparing to say that I'm a man. No way am I a man, but it was like behaviors. We went through like things, like there were struggles that we went through. And these were men that wasn't ashamed to say what they went through. Even Trick, being as gangster as he was, that people could hear, but he talked about his vulnerability when he wanted to commit suicide.
Yeah.
So just letting you know that, yo, we went through this stuff. Like, we went through it, and I need my women to know you can do it. You don't have to take your clothes off. You don't have to do all these things to get served and get what you need. That ain't what you have to do. And I'm hoping that they get together and stop half of the stuff that's going on, because you're destroying our little girls that's coming through now. So this is like, I'm hoping that they take a lot out of this. Like a lot. And I bust my ass. And I'm going to talk about that. When Nikki pushing through, they didn't want no female coming through. They didn't want another woman coming through. They was blocking me every which way. I was being blocked, going in, arguing, going through everything. They blackballed me. And I still came through because the streets blessed me.
That's what's up.
I never turned my back on them streets. I never turned my back on people. I stood there. If I did that to you, you got what your hands called for. Period.
Oh my gosh. My gosh. I mean, there's nothing else to really say. Hip hop untold. This is what people need to know. Just hip hop uncovered. Let me say it like that.
Yeah.
Hip hop uncovered. You just said it, because everything that I've felt, I mean, you was giving me goosebumps just by you speaking about some of the stuff, because we are just aligned on just like about how women need to be portrayed and how to respect themselves. Oh my gosh, this right here, I just really,
that's why we losing our men, because they so disrespectful. That's what, even like, even though I'm an EP on reality TV, but we don't do the BS. It's stuff that go on, but it's real stuff that go on. I'm not going to spit in your face. I'm not going to slap you. I'm not going to sit there and sleep with the next woman and put my man down and he broke and he ain't got this. But that's what they allowed to happen, to belittle our men. They belittle our men. They belittle themselves, disrespect themselves as mothers that allow themselves to do the things that they do in front of their daughters. I idolize my daddy. Do you understand what I'm telling you? That's why I grew up to do half of the things that he did. He taught me these things. So you have to realize that this is a learned behavior. Your child is watching you. Every time you look behind you and you're looking at your behind, look at your daughter. These little girls taking pictures like that. Little girls taking naked shots all the time. Little girls twerking all over the internet. You twerking with your daughter on the internet. You doing all these things. You disrespectful to yourself, to your child, and to the black man. Period.
I'm speechless.
But you want to point your finger at me. You want to say Black Lives Matter. You want to say all of these things and bring up for the moment. But look at the behaviors. And for me, talking to the women, we are the head of our households. We run that house. We have to make sure that man is taken care of and everything is all right. And he's eating and his clothes is clean, his bed is clean. All these things is going on for him so he can get out there to take care of us. But if we're not clearing him, he's worrying about what's going on in the house. and you getting this new makeup going on now where you got to sit there and push your intestines in one spot, perk your titties up, have your behind around the corner to make you complete. That's what the music is. It's all porn now. This ain't about music. This ain't about talent.
It ain't about spitting.
Yeah, it ain't no
about
talent.
spitting.
Where's the talent at now? Where is it?
Yeah.
There is no more talent. It's all about selling sex. You seen one woman, you seen them all. You seen all of them. So what do our little girls have to look up to? They have nothing to look up to. There's nobody there that's a role model for them. It's not fair that we're robbing them. They're being robbed. I was robbed in my childhood. And that's how I feel, like I was robbed. And I'm grateful for this show because it opened up a portion of me. There's so much more that goes on up inside of there, but I released and I said things that is not a secret anymore. Pandora's box was opened. It was opened. And I'm grateful and I thank you. I love you so much. You don't understand how this is about to make me be emotional.
Right.
It did
I
so much
appreciate
for me as a woman because I've been beat down so much through this industry and every door that I opened and everything that I did, I didn't have pistols put to me, everything to protect these people. Everything I did. I lost a lot of people. I
I'm
lost
just
my
glad I can help.
son messing around in this industry.
Right.
It took a lot from me to be shitted on, stomped on, ridiculed, rumored on, everything it is that they did. Everything. And I took that. I took it. My head was up at all times.
Now we here. Now it's our turn. Hey, let me say this to you though. And I say this because your story, and I said it all the time, I said it last night. Your story is so beautiful and brilliant, and it needed to be said today because my 14-year-old and my wife and my aunties and everybody who I've showed it to are so happy for you. They are so happy and grateful for you because they need to see a woman not pull her pants down, not parade with her dress up, and not make it in this world, on selling sex. And I needed my daughter to see that. I needed my daughter to see you don't got to be butch, you don't got to be gay to deal with men. You need here go Deb. And I swear to God, I didn't know what we was gonna get fully. Because in my mind, I wanted to strengthen. I wanted the woman who had got cheated out of a lot of stuff. But when I got that, and my daughter was affected by that, and my wife, because my wife don't, and my daughter, they feel like, whatever it is. But when they was like, man, she's the best one, and I want to meet her. And that was so eye-opening to me to see a Black woman not pulling her dress up to make it. You know what I mean? And that you made it in a strong way. And then I seen the same pain because I can relate to that pain, that being shitted on, being accused of all this other bullshit and niggas laughing and joking about it. Like it ain't nothing. Like, nigga, you ain't no street nigga. You couldn't have been no street nigga and be doing this shit. And
that hurt for men to do that.
Say.
Yeah.
We can't go never say what these other niggas can say. I'm never gonna complain about what no nigga, I'm not gonna do that because it ain't me.
Yeah. That's not me either.
Whoever you got.
That's not me either. I'm not gonna do stuff like that. I'm not gonna do that. But to sit there and work with people and they turn around and spread these rumors on you and take lies. I took hits for guys. I took their hits they couldn't take. I took it. And I let these rumors still go on to this day because of what they did. But I took the hit for it.
Wow.
And everybody laughed and they thought that this was cute and that all of these things was good. Like, that's just crazy. But I took it and I never said nothing. I just took the hit. If people knew some of the stuff that was going on, and even I look at some of these guys supposed to be so upscale, I know your story. You know I know what time it is with you. If that Negro knew what you really did and what really happened with you, you wouldn't be standing there. It's like all of these things that happen that I know and you want to do this to me. But that's because they know what time it is, because they know I'm not going to run my mouth. So I got to take the hit. I got to take it. It's hard. Like, I talked to one of my OGs from back in the days. Yesterday, he called me and he talked to me for a long time. And he said, "It's your turn." I said, "But it can't be that way. I'm still governed a certain kind of way. And if I give that up, I'm going to give me up. I will give up me, and I will not compromise me for no one. I don't care what you say or how you say that. I knew the games that I signed up for. I know them now. So everything that come with it, I have to deal with it. It's just as simple as that. I have to deal with that. But you don't get no more passes now. If you go there today, I'm going to come and join your world. And we're going to tap dance around up in this and have some fun with each other. And I know I'm not going to lose, because failure is not an option for me.
Definitely not, man. Definitely not. I listen. I appreciate you spending some time with us and y'all opening up like this. This Hip Hop Uncovered on FX is definitely finna shock the world and really put a lot of things in the proper place. And I hope that the code that you guys live by in y'all lifetime gets spilled over to these shorties right now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so out of control at this particular point in time. And the leadership isn't really there because a lot of people become leaders off of just popularity, not integrity. And
Right.
There you go. That's to say that again.
Man,
You say
one
that
more
for the
time.
people in the back because they didn't hear you. Say it again because the people in the back didn't hear you.
Hey, y'all following people who are leaders based off of popularity and not integrity.
They got a blue check, so they leader.
Okay, thank you. Everybody with a blue check is a boss. Everybody that got a couple of numbers on Instagram, you popping to. You done did it all. You could just come in and do whatever. Yo, that's so crazy to me.
Yes.
But you want to know something? And those are all the people that they take down so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
They get you down quickly. You forget where you come from. You be on top tomorrow. Everybody needs to understand there's an expiration date to everyone, especially to the artists. They don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you bossed up, you stay there. Because you can keep realigning yourself with something else. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's not one place that you at.
Mm-hmm.
You're not comfortable. And none of us is comfortable because we're constantly doing other things.
Yes.
There's no comfortability. There is none. I lost a lot of time in my life. A lot of times. And we got decades of stuff that we can sit around and talk about. And we're here to talk about that now. A lot of people can't talk about that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, definitely, this documentary finna do it. It's finna do it. I appreciate again for y'all opening up yourselves on that platform. And again, examples, setting beautiful examples of how you should be as women and as grown men in this game and in life. Because this is life shit that we have to really get these people to really understand. And because there's no leaders out here. So Big U, thank you again for executive producing this situation and putting it together. Auntie Deb, I feel like you my auntie for real, because again, watching that, you opened yourself up and I was emotionally hit just as much as you was talking about those things that happened to you. And I felt like that was very hard to just express that out loud. But like you said, it was therapeutic for you to be able to get those
Very
things out.
therapeutic for me.
Yes.
Very therapeutic.
Yes. So again, I know y'all got a lot of stuff going on, but I thank you from the bottom of my heart for spending some time with us over here at Power 92. Is there a way for people to get in touch with y'all? Because what's going to happen is after they see this documentary, they're going to want to talk. So what's your social media, Deb?
Mine's is Deborah, DBRA, the number 4. M as in Mary, I as in ice cream, Z as in zebra, A as in apple, Y as in yellow, at gmail.com. That's the email you can do, but my Instagram is without the Gmail, Deborah Formazay, all the way through.
Absolutely. Big U, how can people get in touch with you, man, and learn some of them big man leadership skills from you, brother?
Just at Big U, BIGU1 on Instagram, Facebook.
I was going to say, put the 1 there, you. Put the 1 there.
Yeah, at Big U1, BIG1.
All right, and then for the people just so they can know when this is coming out, when does this first episode air on FX?
February 12th on FX.
February 12th. That's this Friday.
That's this Friday.
Come on, y'all. Tee up and tee up and tee up some more. Thank you again so much for spending some time with us. You guys have a blessed week. And again, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yes, take care. Take care. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Power 92.3 FM.